So here we have Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, and he's criticizing Justin Trudeau on a number of fronts, all well-deserved, but he's also asking the very important question of why was China so interested in helping the Trudeau government win in 2019 and 2021?
He literally wants to control the entire economy. He wants to nationalize large industries with monstrous taxpayer-funded subsidies. And yet he wants to print $600 billion without having any responsibility for the resulting inflation. He wants to increase the cost of government without taking any of the blame for the resulting interest payments that households must pay on their own debt after he drove up.
And I think I should mention here that now servicing the interest on the national debt accrued by the Trudeau government is now more than what we spend on health care.
The rates. He wants none of the responsibility for the fact that we have the slowest economic growth in the OECD over the next 5 years and over the next 35 years after he promised all this spending was going to stimulate the contrary. He wants to have total control over what you can see and say online to protect us all from these dangerous forces that might influence our thinking if we're not protected by the angels in the government. And yet, when there is actually a risk of manipulation by hostile and malicious actors like, say, a communist regime in Beijing, he can't even take the responsibility of reading his briefing notes.
So either Justin Trudeau was ignoring his own intelligence agencies, I guess out of incompetence or laziness or something, or he was intentionally hiding the information that he was getting because he felt that it would benefit him to do so, because the interference was benefiting him. Neither one of those is good.
This is the irony, the great irony of his leadership, and one of the reasons why I think he's succeeded in doubling housing costs, giving us the worst inflation in 40 years, sending 2 million people to the food banks, 8,000 people signing up for a Facebook group called the Dumpster Diving Network because they now have to eat out of a garbage can after he drove food prices rising with his carbon tax.
I think the World Economic Forum actually made a video about that. It's called You'll Eat Garbage and Be Happy.
He wants to control every aspect of your life. And then when he ruins your life, he wants to take none of the responsibility for the ruin that he caused. And the third reason why this testimony and this entire scandal is so consequential and indicative is why the hell did a dictatorship, a communist dictatorship on the other side of the world, consider it such a strategic imperative to keep this guy as prime minister? What was their motive? Why did they believe that they would be better off by having him as our prime minister in at least 2 elections where they intervened to help him win? Why? Because he's good for Canada? Or is it because he admires their basic Chinese communist dictatorship? He admits that he admires Fidel Castro, and his policy agenda would seem to point in that direction.
Yeah, because they can just run wild in Canada. Well, Trudeau's here. I mean, we found out there was like secret Chinese police stations here intimidating Chinese Canadians. There was Chinese spies sending out actual material from our top biolab in Canada. They just have free reign. They can do whatever they want. That's why they like him. And also because he's wrecking the country, right? So any Western country that is weakened is seen as a gain by them, by the Chinese Communist Party. They want to take over. So, yeah, I mean, that's why. I mean, there's maybe other reasons, too, that we don't know about. There's been so many scandals. I mean, it seems like there's 2 or 3 scandals every single week with Trudeau. It's really, truly unbelievable. It's so depressing because it's true. The longer he stays in power, that would be Trudeau, the more hopeless I feel that things will ever be good again. Well, I'm not quite there. I'm not like black-pilled. But it is true that the longer he's in power, the more damage that he does, and the damage that he's already done is generational damage. So I'm not hopeless, but I've accepted that none of this is going to get fixed in 4 years.